I'm waiting for Seagal Sensei to pop up out of Russia and just say to me, that never happened, but it did. And I've actually got some black and white documentation that actually backs up that we were moving towards doing it.
Hey guys, got a really exciting video for you today. It's about the time Jean-Claude Van Damme and Steven Seagal almost got in a movie together. Like, this was really close to happening recently, only a few years ago. This isn't that story from the 90s when they were going to be in Demolition Man or anything else. This is actually pretty recent. I don't think this information's out there anywhere else. Bey Logan, my guest today, shared it. Make sure to check him out on Facebook. You could follow him there. If you're into Kung Fu memorabilia and that kind of cool stuff, check out his website, reeleast.com, R-E-E-L East.com. I'll link all that information in the description below. And please help support the channel by hitting the like button, subscribing, sharing the video, and also you can follow me on Instagram. I'm trying to build that up. I'm Real Viking Samurai on there. I chronicle some of my own martial arts training. I'm going to give fitness tips, etc. So go ahead and check that out. And if you want to smell amazing, Black Belt Fragrances, I can get you an amazing discount on cologne or perfume. All the information is linked in the description below, so check that out. And with that said, let's get on to this discussion about when Steven Seagal and Jean-Claude Van Damme almost worked on a movie together.
Hey, you know, here's the scoop for you. When I was doing attrition, I came that close to getting Seagal Sensei to agree to make a film with Van Damme.
Wow,
we even had a plot
something.
line. We even had a plot line worked out for it. And where it fell down was, for whatever reason, you know, Seagal Sensei did not want to do a Van Damme film. I mean, he could have done it many times over, right? It would have been.
But Demolition Man, they were going to work together. There were talks
right.
back then.
It was so late in the day for them, career-wise, that what each one of them wanted to entertain doing it was not going to be borne out in any foreseeable revenues internationally. You know, you'd have to do something like an Expendables, you know, with a bunch of them, just those two guys. And then, you know, like Seagal wanted X and Jean-Claude wanted Y. I've never been the kind of producer who goes into something knowing that you're going to lose everybody's money. I guess I could have just said to everybody, no, it'll all be good. But then I looked at the sales forecast. I went to all these companies and said, okay, if I sell this movie, what is in the blue skies most optimistic view? How much money can I get back? And I looked at that number. I looked at what I was having to pay these guys. And by the way, what I would have to pay them before making the film.
Really?
Yeah. But it was a cool concept. It was basically about like a League of Assassins, and they were going to be two of the League of Assassins. And in fact, I think we talked about it, and actually it was going to be like two movies. I can't remember that.
You mean like, so it'd be like a sequel? You had like two movies in mind already?
I'm trying to think. At that time, we talked about building to a certain point with film. How to make this make sense was you would take the money, shoot the two films back to back.
Okay.
And the first film would build up, and it would be a conventional Seagal movie, and then you would find out that the ultimate hitman was actually Jean-Claude. You find that at the end of film one, and in film two would be the two of them cat and mouse kind of thing. And then you'd have a throwdown at the end between the two of them.
That's what we would love to see.
I know, me too. Listen, I have to say a lot of this stuff has been driven by my own youthful visions and excitement.
So on attrition, Seagal was actually open to it though? Because I know the two guys don't necessarily like each other.
He should lose some weight. So no, joke on the side. Yeah. So he can be a little more fast.
He's put on the pound.
Yeah.
Do I think Jean-Claude's a tough guy in martial arts? No.
I don't. You know what's interesting? I mean, surely to not like each other in a meaningful way, don't you have to spend time together? I mean, how can you say
you would
that? I don't
think.
Right. I mean, they've never actually sat down and conversed.
Well, they did have that confrontation at Stallone's party, I think, in Miami.
Yeah,
that's a famous story. But
I know. I mean, I felt that in these times, if they with those times, or maybe even been better if it had been 5 or 10 years before, if you actually sat the two of them down together to chat, they would not have come to blows. There's enough shared life experience that they could find some common ground. Yeah, it took a while. And I remember it was like Sensei Seagal said to me, we'd just come back from somewhere and we were on the bus, the van coming back from the airport in Bangkok. And he says, you know what, if you can get this much money, I'll do it. And Jean-Claude was kind of like same ballpark. He said, well, you know, you like favored nations, like whatever we were going to give Seagal Sensei, he wanted to get the same, or whatever it was going to be. And I was like, yeah, I thought, well, this is great. I went back to my room and looked at the materials, and then I looked at the numbers, and then couldn't find any sales company willing to promise me they could make the money back. And I've never been a guy. I mean, I've made films that lost money. We all have as producers.
Yeah, sure.
But I never went into a film believing it or knowing for a fact that you would lose money.
Couldn't crunch the numbers. It drove me crazy.
So I didn't do it. I mean, maybe somebody else should have done it, you know?
Now, speaking of the money, though, do you think, see, I would think, like, let's say a new Seagal movie makes X amount of dollars and a new Van Damme movie makes X amount of dollars. I think with their names combined, it would make more than just those two added up.
The perception in the marketplace was that their audiences were kind of the same and that they canceled each other out, so that you were charging twice as much or more than twice as much for the same, for a film that could only be sold to the same audience. That there was people that bought Van Damme films and people that bought Seagal films were the same guy. If you follow my drift.
No, I get that logic,
So,
but I disagree with it. And I don't even know if you agree with it. I mean, I know you're talking how the industry sees it, because I see it more like a lot of guys who like Van Damme and Seagal, they're not necessarily going to watch every new Van Damme movie, and they're not necessarily going to watch every new Seagal movie. But if they're in the same movie, you get all of them.
But no, but you see, you've jumped a step in the process. To make money, a film like this can't wait for the audience. It has to wait for the film buyers, the distributors. And this was before Netflix dominated as they do now. So you basically still had this patchwork where France was worth X amount, Italy was worth X amount, North America was worth X amount for a specific actor. So you would run those numbers, and the problem was that what was told to me at the time was that the Van Damme and Seagal numbers didn't add together; they overlapped. So you'd spend double, but you would make half back. That was what kind of stopped it for me, anyway.
Game over.
Sure.
I mean, maybe one of those other bright producers in Hong Kong, all those foreign guys making, one of them should have done it. I mean, there was nobody. I think, looking back, if I'd pushed the issue through and just gone, okay, who cares? We'll just spend the money, and if we lose it all, we lose it all. But it's a horrible thing to do as a producer.
I mean going in thinking you're going to lose money, yeah, it doesn't make any business sense.
Well, that's how it was, and I promise you, if there was a way to have done it, I know I can tell how disappointed I've made you, but I'm sorry.
I'd have the movie right
there was
here.
a way to do it. I wanted to do it for the same reasons that you did. The difference is that you'd have been looking at the film and going, oh, I like this, I didn't like this. I'd be looking at the investors sharpening machetes and going, Bey Logan must die. Like, that's never happened before, right?
Different, a little more pressure,
but yeah, that was how I saw it. So I had a different perspective on the whole thing.
Yeah.
But no, I so wanted it to happen, and I was pleasantly surprised when when Seagal Sensei said, hey, I'm prepared to do it for that figure. I thought that there was no figure, that there was nothing that he would do.
The only way I see it happening, because this is why Demolition Man with Van Damme and Seagal never got made, is because neither one of them wanted to lose against the other one. So in this one, it sounds like they were going to be pitted against each other. I always felt they would have to be on the same team working together, like Dolph Lundgren and Brandon Lee.
We had the exact same situation. I worked on peripherally on Forbidden Kingdom with Jackie and Jet, and same thing. They had it like, neither one of them can lose the big duel, and so it was timed down to millisecond how long one of them was on the ground and who hit the other how many times. So there are ways of doing it. It was just, I think it's a certain force of nature producer like Joel Silver or somebody. Maybe could have. Well, obviously in that case he didn't, because he produced the film, didn't he? But it takes somebody like that to do it. I kind of like I think the other thing was, if it had been 10 years earlier, I might have been more kind of like gung-ho. But I'd been through the trenches by the point I did attrition. I was kind of like, I'd been through the trenches myself, and I just felt, nah, it was going to be challenging to make a movie with those two guys anyway. But yeah, the numbers didn't work, so we didn't move forward. And maybe the mainstream audience is not aware of the level of success that Steven Seagal enjoyed compared to any of these other guys. I mean, you know, he was at these big theatrical blockbuster movies. I mean, Jean-Claude's biggest theatrical film would have been what, Time Cop, Universal Soldier?
Yeah,
And
probably.
they were nothing like the level of
Like
a
Under
Seagal movie.
Siege.
So to begin with, I mean, there's a huge disparity. But I think by the time we're talking about, things had leveled out somewhat, and you know, Seagal Sensei was doing straight to what we would now call, you know, what then were straight to video films.
Oh my God.
Now I guess we call them straight to Netflix movies.
Sure.
But then isn't everything now, right? But straight to videos, and you can kind of say, well, you put the two of them together, and it ruled out, it erased the market. I'm waiting for Seagal Sensei to pop up out of Russia and just say to me, that never happened, but it did. And I've actually got some black and white documentation that actually backs up that we were moving towards doing it.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome.